Oh wait, my game audio cut out. Cause it's like, no way, yeah. Do we want game audio? I guess we do. It's kind of awkward without it. But let me just restart it, and then we'll play Azure Lane. But first, meme reviews. Oh wait, my...
Do you feel
better
like talking about? You never stand to anime girls.
Sure.
Alright, let's go! We're in!
Well, I have to say,
Uh-huh.
I've been super interested into anime girls lately.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Me too.
Let's go! Ashley does it too!
Come around on the choice of first step.
I'm so glad, Ashley!
Sometimes I do that.
Yo, you do it? Let's freaking go! Gooning together! Dude, guys, it works! I told you! It went great!
Nice. I never stand into anime girls would bring Ash and me together.
I'm so glad!
Since Babe and I have the same taste.
Same taste!
So no wonder we hit it off.
I knew it, Ash! Always a gooner. What's cracking, guys, and welcome to the best place on planet freaking Earth out here and the digital realm. That is the Lost Pause channel, and the second place being the Lost Pause subreddit filled with beautiful weebs like you, me, and all this beautiful community. I also have a P.O. box if you guys want to send me stuff, fan letters, mails, whatever have you. Send it right there. I open it up at the end of these videos. I might do one next week out here, considering I know I got something. So, yeah, let's get straight into it here, though. The female Gallade out here, the notorious Pokemon champion one, and wait a minute, Gallade can't be female. Shh, let me show you something and do what you want. That doesn't answer anything, though. Wait a minute. This doesn't answer a dang thing. This is like Schrodinger's Gallade. Is it male? Is it female? Is it a bug? Is it real? I don't... You guys are going to have to use your own imagination on this one. Honestly, if it was Pokemon standards, there would be nothing. There's nothing. Scrolling for 15 minutes before bed are the best 3 hours of my life. Just don't. Usually what I do, I just go to YouTube, I click a random thing that's recommended to me, and then I just let it play and I'm done. I completely tune it out, whatever's being said, and I'm gone. And if my video is that video for you out there, yeah, you're welcome out there. Get some rest out here. Let me tuck you in, little guy. I got you. Leave a like and subscribe for that one, okay? I completed my end of the contract. Now it's time to claim your soul. Any last words? Order, mommy. Okay, dude. Okay, well, is this what he wanted? Was this the contract? This is probably exactly what he wanted. To be honest, that woman way too big. All right, she way too big for whatever that man. She would probably use him as a recreational instrument. Why are cats and animes always so adorable? And okay, yeah, Chunchumaru, yeah, very cute. And wait a minute. All right, the 100 girlfriends, and there's a few things wrong with this one. No, it's not just because one of them may or may not be off-brand, but one of them is from Ghost Stories. Congratulations on bringing back every Pokemon. I've watched you all this time. You have worked really hard. You have earned my friendship. You may build me a new home. I regret everything. It's just the tiniest little thing. Hey, at least he's got a roof on it. Most of the time, you can just do a little bit of a corner and a door, and then that's all you can do. Just dirt and a door, and you're good to go for 4 Pokemon inside. What you doing? Hey, I'm trying to play my game. But I can't see what I'm doing now. Wait, I can feel the game. You don't need to see. Wait, how are you doing that? It is a pro gamer move. Steven has achieved gaming transcendence. It's okay. When you just want a game, you don't want your girl at all, man. I mean, I feel that though. I've been there, man. Sometimes, you know, sometimes the call of Tarky, it yearns. So this is a real video. Today's lesson, food attacks. A brief and guide to the federal unemployment tax. Oh, that's what the acronym is for. Okay. I know this has been doing the rounds again out here. I'm surprised that some of y'all haven't seen the food attacks out there, okay? Here in the anime community, sometimes that you just get that, you know? Sometimes you're looking at a beautiful anime girl and food attacks. Take a picture. Okay.
My tire is just extremely
insane.
Flat. It's very flat.
Okay, let's go take a look at
That
it.
seems like a very happy man.
In my life.
Okay. This is just... All right. Let's take a picture of it. All right.
I have never seen a tire this flat in my life.
All right.
You know,
He grabs him. You gotta look. You can't run away from this one. This is the funniest thing I did. This is what we call an old man knee slapper right there. That's a certified knee slapper. Daily Drafty Rick Astley confession. I let my kids borrow any movie from my collection of Pixar films, except one. He told them, I'm never gonna give you oh my God, no! Stop! That is one of the cleverest Rick rolls I've got. Oh my God. That is really clever. You got me there. First to Utonium and getting some cookies, Professor! And Dexter, I am surprised by this shipping out here. I mean, I've seen this like way in the past from the artist Bleed Man, but that arm is kind of concerning. It's just a giant chunk. It is a giant meat hook. The situation is getting worse. I'm sorry I asked you to come with me in this mission, Adriel. We haven't seen each other since the orphanage. I shouldn't have put you in danger. Don't say that, Piri. It's a pleasure to embark on a new adventure with you after all these years. Our studies have kept us apart, but you're my sister, and I'd do anything for you. Ariel, and besides, I'm a cleric, so... Let me take care of these demonic beings. Okay. When I was playing some Baldur's Gate 3, Shadowheart during Act 2 was decimating all the undead. Just completely obliterating. It was, I mean, she was the GOAT, man. Clerics are scary in D&D. Good Eskimo reference, too. Getting these oven gloves so I can proudly claim I made these with my bare hand. Oh my God. Okay. Honestly, good joke. Good joke. Is that a certified knee slapper? No, not today.
Okay.
So cute. May I ask for a name? Huh? What are you hitting on me? When you ask someone's name, you should introduce yourself first.
There's a dog.
No, I meant the dog. I mean, I'm down for like a nice tan tomboy out here too, you know what I'm saying? We can make some work out here. I built Brock a jelly donut shaped house for the humans' return. Okay. Okay. I mean, I guess it's the most fitting for him out there. An actual jelly donut house. They tend to sneak their way in somehow, and I'll let this one in. It's a high effort jelly donut meme. I guess that could work. Oh. Honestly. Oh, he's zooming on Minda out there? Yeah, there she is. She's so cute. She's just living life. Okay. Life. I assure you, she is plenty played with, incredibly cuddled, incredibly spoiled, tons of treats. I don't know, man. She's a demanding little cat. Don't you forget we got Lost Paws Discord filled with beautiful people like you to join our community and share some memes. We're gonna look and see what we got.
And if you're gonna call me cute, then you bet.
No, come on, man. Don't melt. You got this. Stop. No. Oh my God. A man don't receive many compliments, so if you hit us with what we're cute, man, we're gonna remember that for the rest of our lives, man. You're gonna be a special place in our mind. Come on, Pete. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. This MJ is just right there. I mean, so many people really like Black Cat that much. And to be fair, Black Cat is very, very good. I've seen the Marvel Rivals stuff. I would love for her to call me a good boy too. I'm just saying. You can eat anything in here. Eat a cake. Go for the whole factory. I mean, anything. What about that Oompa Loompa in the back, looking like a okay, no, I don't know about that one. I love my lesson, man. You don't go for no Willy Wonka things out there, man. I got super baked in the Shire and accidentally recruited these 4 little weirdos for the most important mission of all time. It's just like, bro, hey man, the gamble paid off. Okay, he was having a good time, and it turns out he just happened to find the one thing that could resist the ring's charm. Steve, how about name a fruit? Hamburger! And the family, good answer, good answer. What are you talking about? That's not a good answer. It is stupid. There ain't no way hamburger up there. Stop clapping, stop clapping. It's about Waluigi. He's so bad, he sold Luigi's underwear on eBay, which raises an interesting question. Who bought this stuff? I'm gonna be real. I know there's plenty of women and men out there, perhaps even Bowser at this point, seeing the new movie. He probably would have bought it. If there's a sign, there's a story, and well, I don't think that's where you're supposed to put a gas pump. I'm surprised that needs to go there, but unsurprised at the same time. You know, everybody has to go to the gas station, guys. Everybody. So I got a really cool Damien fan art out here by D&D character. That is so cool. I haven't thanked him for it, and he said, "You're welcome, Unc." What do you mean by Unc? What do you mean by that? Can we still use bro? Is bro still cool? Another time for Guess the Lily cosplay. This one here, it kind of reminds me of Sun Wukong. I see the crown on top. I see the staff. I don't think it's like, it could be a gender-bent Sun Wukong or something similar to that. It's something related to that Chinese legend. Oh, this one is nice. As a Lily angle from the back out there with that really cool katana. I like that it's going behind the hair and like around the tail. That's kind of dope, man. That's a good angle. That's a good angle. Was I supposed to be guessing a cosplay here? Good angle. And this last one here it's like some staff with like bells on both sides out there. Lily with some big old...
Wait, what was that?
Angle from the back out there with that really cool katana. I like that it's going behind the hair and like around the tail. That's kind of dope, man. That's a good angle. That's a good angle. Was I supposed to be guessing a cosplay here? Good angle. And this last one here it's like some staff with like bells on both sides out there. Lily with some big old puffy pants. I see like it's got like some bells in the shoes or some well-designed and things out there. That outfit is crazy. Brother, I got nothing. I genuinely have nothing. I have failed this week. I apologize, gamers. Anyway, that's gonna do it here for our Lost Pause Reddit video. Especially, I hope you guys had some good laughs as always. And if you did, hey, maybe check out Lost Pause too, because I got some more videos being uploaded over there. I got some nice the Tomodachi Life gameplay out there. It's really funny. I guarantee you're gonna have a good laugh. Go check it out on the second channel. But for now, I will see you beautiful sons of guns again in the next video.
この程度じゃ足りないわ。一致団結。もっとだ。裁きを来たれる。俺に続け。 星空を眺め、一致正解を歩む。
Cancelled.
君はこの艦隊の指揮官？夏の装いでも。
Okay, so we did a TCG accessory stuff with Amazon and with Temu. Did you not expect me to do AliExpress? But of course, before we begin, I have to give my disclaimer as to why I cannot give links to these kinds of websites in the descriptions of the video. However, I will be at least attempting to give you the prices. AliExpress can be a little dumb sometimes, but I'll be attempting to give you the prices for things. Disclaimer. And with that out of the way, our first item is in this big box that doesn't quite fit on camera. This is something that, if it was at a better price point, I could see as being like a good storage solution that I would want to get a good handful of. I think it's just slightly out of the range I'd be willing to pay. And underneath all this bubble wrapping stuff, we have a box. And bam, you guys are seeing all of my lights. Yeah, we have giant storage box here. Interesting, like kind of clear. We really oddly faded yellow handle. Weird color choice there. But we have 2 clasps and open it up. So if you guys are curious, this thing cost me just shy of $23. And we have a big accessory bag in here. And yep, it's just a giant storage box. You can probably imagine what this is for. To me, getting a good box like this for storing bulk would be somewhat ideal. You could label the individual compartments and then separate them depending on, you know, how you like to organize. For me, when it comes to bulk, it's by the set. But if you're also like me, you're going to have a lot of bulk. So yeah, pretty basic dividers here. And bam, that's what the 3 basic dividers inside. And then from there, you can choose to add these. They also have some in that weird yellow and some in gray. Oh, no. You know, something tells me this isn't quite right. Okay, there are 2 different sizes. So these are meant for this side part over here, which, interesting, that doesn't line up with the clip. Oh, you have to use this yellow one on the left side. So it is different from these. You can see how the little struts right here are offset. I guess they're meant for the left side over there, and then these gray ones are meant for the middle and right. Weird. It's even more weird, because in the photo that they have of this, they do have the yellow one in the middle, and that just sounded correct to me. So yeah, sorry if you're OCD, this thing is probably going to destroy you. But we have these wider ones here to go into the sides like that, and then the smaller ones for over here. They do actually show this larger pocket, which you can't shrink anymore, as like holding dice in one of the images, so I'm guessing they want that to be more of like an accessory pouch, but if I'm buying this thing for card storage, I want to use it for card storage. I don't really need to store dice in here too. I just realized, interestingly, they do have like a top and bottom, because you can see this little hump right here is meant to kind of sit flat on the bottom of the box. Alright, and that's what it looks like with all of the dividers inside. So yeah, you have very odd compartments there on the left side. I don't think this thing's gonna fit standing cards. I don't really know what the point of this tiny little compartment back here would be. If anything, I would just take this one out. No, that one would even work. I guess take this one out. No, because you still have that dumb little compartment. If anything, I'll just take both of them out and call it good like that. Now, while I'm sitting here stuffing this thing full of cards off camera, I do want to go ahead and note that this box does advertise you can store 2,300 plus cards. Okay, so I took cards out of my bulk box, one of my bulk boxes, and it wasn't quite enough to fill it all the way, but I'm sure you guys get the point. I mostly just wanted to see capacity and issues that we might run into. And yeah, bit of an issue. It's right there where they have to have that indent for the locking mechanism. It doesn't seem to show much of an issue over on this side. Like, those ones aren't trying to fall down into a little crevice here. They're very much causing an issue on this one where things aren't quite straight. Also, yes, you can probably tell by the background and all the cards used, this is a Pokemon channel, but you don't have to just be into Pokemon. I have other things in this video that pertain to basically TCG, as you can tell at the start of this video. But this compartment can fit cards sideways with that one flap in there. This one up here is a bit of a challenge. Let's try and lift this. Yeah, this compartment over here just feels so jank. Like, I really don't like it. And you couldn't have another divider in here because you wouldn't have enough room that would get in the way. Like, this is very much an accessory slot. But to me, like, the big purpose, again, personally, people are going to have different use cases for these kinds of things. Personally, the big use case would be, like, bunch of these for bulk cards. You can throw labels on the top tier lid to say this is for this, right? That sounds great. I hate how much space over here is basically empty. Like, you can use this compartment, your cards are sideways now. This top compartment, you really can't unless you're really okay with cards sliding around. Now, it is worth noting that there is a good amount of play in this box. So you can kind of see how much room there is for cards to slide left and right in here, but for bulk, I'm not that worried about it. The upside to it having that kind of play is, yes, you actually could do sleeved cards as well. Now, I'm not too sure about, you know, standard, like, gameplay sleeves, but, like, penny sleeves, perfectly fine. But, like, cards in these art sleeves should be fine, I imagine. Yeah, let's make sure that lid isn't gonna, like, try and crush it or anything, but I don't imagine. Yeah, there's plenty of room. So, yes, you could actually do all sleeve cards in here, and that would also make less of an issue with the space being taken up. It still has a bit of wiggle, but now it's in the sleeve, right? If you're using this thing for bulk storage, you're probably not going to be sleeving all of your cards. But it is an option. You are just going to get a bit less space out of this guy. I think for 20-30 bucks, it's not bad. It doesn't feel well designed, and it doesn't feel like it was designed with TCGs in mind, with that weird spacing on the left side, as well as the kind of like not straightforward compartment on the, you know, corner that we saw. I don't hate it. I'll definitely have a use for it, but I won't be picking up more of them either. So this next one I actually have been using for a little bit of time now. And that's because, A, it came really in handy for me for a project I was working on, and B, I felt like it needed a bit more testing than just what I usually do on this channel, which is, you know, blind first looks at it. This contraption right here was what is it? Yeah, $26, almost $27. Now, it's worth noting that whenever I give you guys the prices, that's with shipping prices as well, because that's how these kind of sites tend to get you is like, oh, look how cheap this item is, but then it's like $20 in shipping. This thing is actually listed, or at least it was listed, I'm not sure if it's still a thing, let's find out, it is, for $14, but when you add shipping to it, it was $26.50. Now, as you can probably guess by looking at it, this thing is a 3D print, but is a massive improvement on this thing that I showed in a previous video. This is the TCG box. You take this part off, and you attach it, if I wasn't stupid, like so. Your phone goes up here, and you slide cards down this little ramp right here into this box, right? So your cards go in that compartment, your phone goes up here, and it scans the cards as they go. Whatever tracking app you like to use. I use Shiny, I absolutely love it, and I simp for it all the time. But it'll work for Mana Box or Magic the Gathering, you know, TCG Player app, whatever you guys want to use. Well, this guy is a massive improvement. First off, we have an accessory bag with extra parts in case you have any issues. This little box right here, it's a where your cards slide into, so they slide down this ramp, they go into this box, is actually multi-layered and had some dirt in it. Because you can actually take this out and more comfortably, it's a little bit hard to get out, I won't deny that, you can more comfortably do sleeved cards with this compartment if you remove the smaller box, which is more so meant for unsleeved cards. I'm sure you can probably get perfect fits in there too. Now this little bridge right here actually connects with these little pieces right here, so if you really wanted this thing to be more solid constructed, you could like glue these in. And like I said, they did send spares, but I didn't have any issues at all putting a lot of use into this guy so far with them being connected like that. Then this actually can be adjusted up or down. I want to be careful how I do this. There's a reason I have it at the height that I do, but you can see it slides in or out. Then you just take one of these clips and you slide it in there to lock it in place. Then for the top level, it's actually the same. You can just take that right off. Okay, that was in the third slot. Thank God I was looking at it right there. And then it just goes through that old thing. I found this to be a lot more convenient. Getting the cards out is also super easy because you just take out your tray and you dump it. You can put your finger in there to poke the cards out however you feel like doing it. These wings on the side make it much less likely that your card's going to go somewhere it's not supposed to. They all just fall straight down the ramp and right into here. My biggest thing is you do have an adjustable height for your phone, and you have this much larger platform with a larger hole to kind of line up your phone wherever you want to in here. That doesn't mean that I don't have a problem with it. I put my phone on top, and you can probably tell this thing starts immediately sagging. Now that's okay, right? It's still getting a direct look at the bin underneath, so it's not that big of a deal. The issue is, if I were to use this guy, I am starting to wonder, where is the USB-C port? Okay, there it is, I'm blind. Luckily, I already have like a 10-foot USB-C cable hooked up underneath the desk, so yes, and then this ramp actually does progressively go further inward. Literally no problem at all. If I drop this little dish sharp in here, it just slides right. So no, that does not get it. So this next one is a little bit of a joke. I paid $11 for it. Oh, and for the first time in this video, Pikachu knife to deploy. Which I think $11 is extraordinarily fair, if not just a decent deal for what I bought. Even if it's something that I'm probably never going to actually use. This is an automatic card shuffler. Don't you guys love the idea of putting your deck, which is probably fairly expensive depending on what you're running, into a machine that's going to grab your cards? I figured nobody else is probably trying this out with their, actual TCG cards, so I would be the one to try it and see if the cards even fit in the first place, and then see if it's gonna damage them. Because hey, if it doesn't damage them, then hey, maybe it's a decent idea. So it does use USB-C, which is pretty cool. Oh, or you can actually using it if I were to use this guy. I am starting to wonder, where is the USB-C port? Okay, there it is, I'm blind. Luckily, I already have like a 10-foot USB-C cable hooked up underneath the desk, so I can just do that. Alright, seems real simple. So our grips here, which we're actually going to grip onto the cards, they are made, which you would think they would be in order to get a good grip on the card. They are made out of rubber, so they're not really that sharp. Like, obviously they look kind of sharp, but being rubber, I don't see them necessarily doing damage to a card. Oh, yep, that's the bigger concern. So this is hard plastic, and yeah, that's where they first get pulled down by, is this little, like, quarter gear here. Yeah, that's hard plastic, and a bit sharp. It's wild how dirty this thing is, and I literally just unboxed it. To be fair, it looks far worse on camera than it does in person. So it says hold down to operate. Yeah, yep, that gets everything going. So will Pokemon cards fit? They will. It's actually a pretty good fit. Alright, I didn't count, but that looks about like 60 cards, yeah? Okay. So we'll just throw half over here, half over here. And, alright, so we have both, oh, okay. We have both halves in the side. Hopefully none of that bulk is actually secretly valuable. And, okay, that was extraordinarily fast. It didn't miss any cards. I'm a little concerned about how fast it was. That seemed a little violent. It was definitely throwing the cards around, but I'll say this, it does seem to have shuffled. As I am continuing to grow on YouTube, I am starting to get reached out to more and more by, like indie TCGs and even just like other, TCGs that aren't as big as like Pokemon and Magic. And whenever I do one of those videos, I will get decks that are like already organized. I put there and shuffle them around, and like, oh, here's 4 decks for this card game for me and my wife to play. I can see myself being lazy enough to pull this guy out. Let's do this again. Let's kind of angle it so you guys can see it. I have to hold that tray in place. And oh, it rejected one of them. It rejected the technical machine turbo energized. It is definitely throwing the cards at it really hard, and ooh, that's definitely some whitening. I didn't really inspect it that well beforehand though. Let's get another stack, see what level the whitening looks at like, and then we'll do it again. Okay, new stack of cards. As far as whitening goes, obviously there's gonna be some, but it really doesn't have any like noticeable patterns of whiteness on the sides of these cards, and they look very clean to me as just, a bulk card. Alright, now you've seen it before. I'm going to run these cards through a couple times and see what they look like after. Okay, so that's when they got stuck one time. Ignore that. I did run them through 5 times in total, and we are already starting to see signs of damage that we did not see before along the sides of the cards. Okay, let's be fair to it. I wasn't zoomed in whenever I did that before. Yeah, like that white dot standing out already on the left side. Yeah, it does appear to damage your cards. I'd say passing your cards through here multiple times would get them nice and shuffled, right? It would certainly, make your life easier if you have a very organized deck. especially if you're not good at shuffling, or if you don't like doing the traditional, like, you know, like bridge shuffling and all of that, which I'm not a fan of doing, because I don't want to bend my cards, right? Oh, and there's an actual jam. I can kind of like slide that. You can see it slid a bunch of cards at once while they're still trying to pass them through the sides. Okay, hitting the button again fixed though. Now, of course, you cannot run sleeved cards through here, so I mean, it's not like you're really going to be using this guy. I keep getting jams here on this right side, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's an $11 card shuffler that's technically meant for playing cards and not Pokemon playing cards. Stop getting jammed. I literally saw a paper flake come shooting out. Oh my god. In there loose, they take up a lot less space. I agree, and that's probably what I should have done, but I had a different dumb idea. For only $4, we have this plastic piece full of plastic wrapped in plastic. We slide this out. It does come with a lot of stickers for some reason. This is meant for coin collecting, and like, man, they really did send a lot of these stickers with it. Yeah. But more specifically, based on my measurements, these little capsules in here should be able to fit condition markers inside. Looking at them, I'm getting a bit more iffy on that. They might not have given me the best measurements, or I got the wrong measurements from the internet for the size of these. Yeah, they don't fit. I want to say these are like the smallest. Let's see if they do. Nope. Oh my god. Well, I wasted $4. Oh no. But now I have these capsules I don't really have any use for. My wife does art stuff. She can probably use them. The biggest concern is that I just poured out so many of these guys. I want to say these are like the smallest. Let's see if they do. Nope. Oh my god. Well, I wasted $4. Oh no. Now I have these capsules I don't really have any use for. My wife does art stuff. She can probably use them. The biggest concern is that I just poured out so many of these guys all over my desk for nothing. Oh, that whole bit went to waste. It doesn't fit them inside. So if you're curious, the actual, like the old, like coins they did for the Pokemon card game, they are slightly smaller than the condition markers, but not slightly smaller enough, sadly. Oh, that's what they are small enough for. They will fit in the lid. Maybe that's where the measurements came from, was the lid, not the opening, you know, on the inside. Well, I don't really collect coins, but maybe my wife can do something with these. Hey wife, can you do anything with those?
Maybe.
I was thinking like, you could do figures in them or something, use your resin stuff.
I can do figure dioramas.
Okay. So good, we found a use for them. In the meantime, I'll probably go with plan A, and that is to just go ahead and open all these up, throw away the plastic, and maybe just like put them in something small, like a box or something that they'll all fit inside of. But I guess I need to clean off my desk now. And while he's busy doing that, I'm going to tell you about my P.O. Box. I think the P.O. Box videos are super fun because unlike these videos, I have no idea what I'm going to be looking at, and it's all things that are sent to me by you guys. So far, I filmed 2 episodes. I'm actually trying to debate on what setup I liked more. I think I kind of like the one from the first episode more. But if there's ever something that you wanted me to take a look at, or you just think you want to send me something funny or stupid or whatever else, whatever you feel like, you can empty out your junk drawer. My channel's literally called Junk Seeker. Then there is going to be a link in the description of this video to my link tree, and in my link tree you'll find all of the info of my P.O. Box. Anyways, I believe the desk is cleared now, so let's go back. Now, if you guys couldn't guess, I am a collector first and foremost, if you're new to the channel. Well, I do enjoy playing TCGs. I've always had that not very good collector mindset. Not very healthy. So one of the things that I hate the most about a lot of card games is the way they handle their pre-con decks. Now, Pokemon does do a thing that I enjoy, which is they give you a deck box whenever you buy a pre-con deck. But a lot of card games just don't. And I always hate it because I also like to collect decks. I think that it's interesting. And having, you know, actual artwork, that Pokemon deck is a bad example of that. You know, like, the artwork of the box itself can be really neat on a shelf, yada yada. Having all of the cards that were meant to be together in a box is really neat. But a lot of the times when you open the box, there's no way to really contain all of the things together. So I end up doing stuff like this. We have Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck here in this little plastic box, which it is labeled. I eventually got lazy on doing the labels because Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't like to do actual deck box. I also got these things for super cheap. Here's a Digimon deck. This one isn't labeled. I told you I got lazy on it. It's basically like a little pencil case looking thing, but it holds the deck because they don't give you any actual way to do so. And I am a big fan of using these transparent ones because at least lets you get a look as to what's inside. Like with this Yu-Gi-Oh! One, I put like the featured card there on that side, and then this little advertising thing they set in there on that. I think it's neat. But what if AliExpress potentially had another solution for as cheap as $7? You know, what if? I'm iffy on if I'm actually gonna like this thing or not. Like, I'm very iffy on it. And to be fair, that's how I am with most things from AliExpress. That's how you probably should be. I always tell people, don't spend money on there that you aren't willing to throw away, because you never know what will actually arrive at your door. I am very frequently pleasantly surprised, but especially on things that don't have as many reviews, or, you know, the reviews can also be easily botted. You know, it's not as clear as what you're actually going to be receiving. But here, we have a multi-storage bot. Now once again, decent shot. This thing was not designed with TCGs in mind, it's just being marketed that way. But we have 5 of these little tubs in here, which are, wow, nice and dirty off rip. They just open up and you can put a deck in there. Like this one has like a black spot. That's on the inside. Get to that. Oh wow, that wasn't just like dust. Oh, it actually like stained my finger. Whatever that was. And then it has a little carrier for them with more dirt inside. Thank you for that. I would like to store them that way personally, but they don't fit. So you have to do it like this, where they don't really sit super flush. But it's kind of neat, right? You can have them all kind of together. So like for me, who, you know, Pokemon's my primary collection, but I do like to collect other card games on the side. This would theoretically be pretty decent, because I could have, like, all Digimon in one of these little carriers, all Yu-Gi-Oh! In one of these little carriers, Final Fantasy, every card game that doesn't like to do deck box. For $7, it doesn't seem that bad. Are these really gonna protect your cards super well? No. Would I consider this like a deck box I'd take to an LGS? No. But for storage of pre-con decks, I don't have an issue with it so far. And there's definitely plenty of room, so our Digimon pre-con deck, ooh, yeah, that's a pretty flush fit. Sorry, I wasn't really on camera. That's a pretty flush fit, and yeah, I mean, it works. Ooh, it's actually a bit too flush. The cards are sitting in there a bit sideways. Yeah. So if I close that with them perfectly straight, okay. Yeah, you can see how some of those are trying to stay flat. It's because they're kind of being crushed by the lid there. You almost need to put them in there diagonally, which means you couldn't really stuff this thing, right? So let's put them in there at a slant, then close it shut. Okay, so that's a bit better. I feel like you're gonna kind of warp your cards and stuff over time in this guy. Like, you can see where it's holding onto those cards. This thing was specifically designed for cards. It was specifically advertised, I should clarify, for card storage. That's a bit iffy. What happens if you were trying to use these for a different type of storage? For me, it's for deck storage. You could use these for anything. What if you just wanted to stuff them full, right? Like, you have like, oh, this is for like, energies, like fire energy, water energy, quick access, right? Little bin, you can see what's in there. Bam, water energies. Grab what you need for your deck, right? Just random example, I don't know. I always imagine whenever I show these things, you guys have a use case in mind that, you know, the things I'm showing could be used for. Wow, these things suck. Okay, so yeah, it's stuff full of Pokemon cards. If you can't tell, these are the ones that went to the shuffler. Like, it is pretty stuff. Like, they're in there pretty tight, but there's still a little bit of flex, right? Like, there's still a bit of space in there. Yeah. Anyways, we gotta close this, and it. Oh, okay. I managed to force it shut. The keyword there is force. These are not that hard to close when they are not stuffed full of cards. In fact, they just kind of close super easy, like little, like not even in the center. Like, I am off to the side, right there, I got it to snap shut. Like, it takes no force at all. But when it's full of cards... Oh my god, it's actually hard to open now. Jesus, you're gonna break it doing that. Like, oh, wow! Ooh! See these little spikes right here? Look what it did to my cards here at the front. What do you mean this thing is designed with cards in mind? You can generally find name brand like monster protectors, playmat tubes for about $10 or so. If you're buying them in a larger quantity, you might be able to get them for a bit cheaper, but it is a lot of plastic. These are like name brand companies, all of that. What if you could find them for cheaper? Okay, looking on Amazon, this actually goes for about $20. GameGenic has one for 15. Quiver Time has a fancy one for 27. Okay, Ultra Pro has one for 10. But what if $10 is too much and you want to save $3 for $7? But I promise there's a reason this is in this video. We have from Black Lotus instead of Black Lotus, haha. A much more generic feeling of playmat tube. I am curious if both sides come off. That would be... Okay, no, that's actually attached. I'll give them that. Because you see over here, this is just like a clear bottom there and then a cap. Both sides of this, from the side, look like the same thing. You have to look at the cap to tell which one to remove. But I don't hate the fact that one side isn't removable. I feel like it makes it a bit more sturdy, so you're carrying it like this or something. Again, I promise there's a reason we're doing a playmat tube here. As far as the construction, we look at this monster protector, and yeah, it definitely has some flex to it. Yeah, it's decent quality plastic. This one's definitely a thinner plastic. I don't know how to really illustrate that super well. The plastic is definitely a bit thinner. I'd say has a bit more flex to it, but honestly not much. Like, it's pretty dang similar. I think the main reason isn't necessarily the thickness of the plastic, it's the shape. The fact that this is just completely round, whereas this has those weird triangle corners to them to make it look more fancy. Well, that's also going to add some durability points as well. And I can finally open a gift from my wife. my wife purchased this really neat looking little Diglett playmat from the Pokemon Center. And I was like, oh, I have a playmat tube thing for a video. I can show this playmat off then. So I have not opened this guy yet. They're not the thickest of playmats. It's adorable little multiple Diglett little playmat here. I like it. It's pretty neat. Pokemon Center official ones really are not that fancy in my eyes. They're very thin material, which I suppose is pretty standard for branded playmats, but you can get yourself like a desk-sized mouse, like a desk mat, and have much better quality for just using for your cards. And they make better quality playmats, but it's for the artwork. Look at this guy, and at least they're doing him edges. This isn't about the playmat. Okay, I will say this. I've been working on a video for another indie card game, and there's been some delays, so it'll be a little bit until that one's out. I apologize. But very, 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 very small indie startup TCG. Their playmat, because they make playmats for them, was a million times higher quality than this, which is just something I wanted to point out. That the official Pokemon brand is doing lesser quality playmats than, like, a startup like card game. But I can't say much more on that right now. The video's coming, just give me some time, or rather I'm giving other people.
Why is this in 4K? No. What the fuck? This is not a 4K monitor.
People time. And then I don't need time. But I mean, it do fit playmat inside. It holds playmat. There's a little bit of wiggle room, so you could go with the mat that's a little bit taller if you needed to. Not much taller, but it fits your standard size. One thing I'm curious about is how good is that lid? And there it goes. Now let's test that against the Monster Protect. Go, buddy! I'm actually swinging this guy a little bit harder because I don't think that lid's gonna come off. Yeah, less of an issue of it just popping open on you. I feel like I'm using a shake weight right now. Anybody remember the shake weight? Yeah, that is like... Oh wow, it didn't even slide at all. Literally not at all. Yeah, you can actually hear the difference in quality in these two. So I'm going to be turning up the gain on my microphone, so that way my microphone will actually pick it up. But whenever I close this tube, you're going to notice a lack of a sound that we're going to hear on this one. I don't like ASMR, I really don't, but it's going to be kind of ASMR because my gain is going to be loud and I'm going to have to talk, and so I'm going to have to whisper or it's going to be unbelievably loud. Okay, Black Lotus first. That was taking it off and putting it back on 3 times. Then we have the Monster Protector. Okay, I'm really hoping that that actually picked up. The downside to having good microphone settings is sometimes it doesn't pick up things that you want it to, because most of the time you want those sounds to not be heard. Anyways, the biggest difference is this thing is actually a, like, perfect fit seal on here. So, when you're putting the cap down, you're hearing a little swoosh of air because it's literally pressurized. Like, it's forcing air out of this guy as you insert it down. Yes, you feel it almost like breezing down your hand. Like, it is a perfect fit cap on here. Perfect. This guy doesn't do that because it's not a perfect fit, and that's also why this holds on super tight. And this one does not, because this is almost like pressurized by putting the cap on. This guy is just kind of sitting on there. But both about the same size, only a couple dollar difference. If you needed to save the money, or if you need a bunch of playmat tubes, personally, no problem. Like, if I needed to store all of my playmats in tubes, which I don't, but if I did need to, actually it's not the worst idea. Saving $3 per playmat, I would say it's worth it if you're buying a ton of these, right? Like 100%, I'd say $3 per playmat. You're buying 10 of them, that's $30 saved, right? Like, I definitely think it's worth the deal. I would just probably get like one more premium one if you're going to be traveling, right? So I'd probably you want to take it with you. Put in the more premium one, right? So less chance of it falling out. Not that I really think you're going to be like violently shaking it with the lid down, but you get what I mean. Certainly not bad for the price. And our last item is this big guy right here with the handle. Much like our very first item of this video, this guy is another card storage box. Casmali. Okay, so open it up and yeah, okay, doesn't seem too bad. Tell you what, I'm going to give us a bit of a better camera angle. It might cause a bit of a drop in audio quality, though. Alright, I'm now standing, which actually feels fantastic. God, it's not the best angle, it's the best I can do. You know, I kind of hate these strings. These guys right here on the sides. Because it's just forcing it to want to stay closed instead of wanting to stay open, which you think would be kind of the purpose of these. Like, I'm holding it back all... It's getting a bit of a benefit. Let's push that down, too. Okay, it's kind of staying if you push the lid down a bit. Okay, slightly better angle. There's most of the box. It's the best I can do, man. Yeah, it's fairly simple. We have this strap in here, which is actually meant for the outside. And then, actually kind of similar to the BCW backpack that they sent me in my deck box video. These are all just Velcro, so you can actually take these out and reposition them wherever you want. It's pretty strong Velcro. It's kind of annoyingly strong. We also just have a little top accessory pouch up here. No other storage on the up.
Let's talk about campaign farming efficiency, in particular, the XP per oil and coins per oil for all 15 chapters currently in-game. Don't mind the 2-star 12-4 and 13-4. I swear I'm not a new player. By the way, if you're a new player, don't farm for Akagi and Kaga. Take your daily grind to the next level by following this one simple table. Too complicated? This article is part of my Deep Freezer series in which I go over tests, simulations, calculations, or obscure game mechanics. But don't worry if you don't understand the details. The conclusion or recommendation is simple. By the end of this video, you will be able to answer these 3 questions. What map should new players farm before Chapter 9? What map is the best for ship XP? And what map is the best for coins? Next slide. Wait, the video isn't over yet. So new players, until you reach Chapter 9, just farm the highest level you can safely auto. But you should be trying to reach Chapter 9 with a single overleveled fleet as soon as possible. For ship XP, 11-1 is the answer technically. It has the highest XP per oil. And for coins, 13.4 is the second highest coins per oil, just a bit behind 14.4. But 14.4 is harder and takes longer, and you probably want coins fast if you're desperate enough to be completely ignoring ship XP in favor of coins. But the real recommendation is like this: 12.4 for XP, 12.4 for coins, 12.4 all day every day when there's no event. Let me explain why the middle way is the best way. It has respectable coins and XP, and you can drag pretty low level ships through. Although 11.1 has the best XP, which is 9% more XP per oil than 12.4, the problem with it is that it drops 0 cognitive chips and 19% fewer coins than 12.4 does. Let's say you're a casual player, maybe you're a bit inefficient by farming with some max level chips, or maybe you overcap on oil or don't have time to play regularly. Then you want to make the most out of your limited time. So if you farm 11.1, yes, you'll be getting the best XP per oil, but 12.4 will give better XP both per minute and per morale. There's a 20% bonus for keeping your ships 120 morale or higher, and even if you go past that, you definitely still want to keep morale above 0. So if you have a whole hour to farm, morale says that you can do the same number of sorties whether it's 11.1 or 12.4. And 12.4 gives more total XP, gives much more coins, and helps you maximize your usage of daily oil income. Now let's say you're a hardcore player and you farm 11.1 all day every day. Your insane XP gain will quickly vaporize your cog chip stack, and your ships will be stuck at level 100, 105, 110, or 115 because you don't have enough chips to awaken them. Farming 12.4 instead of 11.1 gives less XP per oil and more chips, so it delays the complete obliteration of your cog chip stack while giving you a massive 19% more coins.
Better.
So really, I recommend everyone to get out of chapter 11 as soon as possible. For coins, 13.4 has 12% more coins per oil and 52% more chips per oil than 12.4. If you only care about coins and not ship XP, then this is the stage for you. It's not good for XP even though it has the same XP per oil for 12.4, because it is much harder, especially with 2 out of ammo battles. You will need some max level carry or healer, and even if you don't, you are missing out on the opportunity to level up weaker ships. For casual players, sure, if you need to rush 300,000 coins for a banner, then 13.4 is the place. But doing 12.4 regularly is better so that you can actually level up your ships and not take 10 months to get a new rainbow ship to level 125, by which time there are better rainbow ships. For hardcore players, you can do whatever you want, but I will say that if you sit in 13.4, you're going to overcap on coins and lose the 8,000 coins per day from Merchant anyways. There's simply not enough things to spend coins on if you're far enough into the game already. And yes, I am speaking from experience of spending over 30,000 coins per day on cats while farming a less coin efficient stage than 13.4. Another downside of chapter 13 and higher is that they don't drop grey plates. This is what happens when you spend 2 years in chapter 13. You need grey plates for clear focus and research. So in conclusion, this is my recommendation: 12.4 and 12.4, same as it's been for the past 5 years.
Okay, so it hasn't changed at all. Good to know. Oh, 4 years ago. Oh, it's the revenge. Damn, nice. The mob in the Otome game. Wait, what? Why?
This actually looks crazy. This is as far probably as you can go printing from home. I got 2 packages here, one from Amazon and one from Etsy. Do not bend. Vinyl sticker paper for inkjet printer. Little did I know, I actually got the wrong freaking vinyl sticker paper. These are not the clear version of the sticker paper, so I had to return it and then reorder the clear version. And this package right here, I am super excited to see. Everything is in between 2 very thick cardboard. Here we go. So the Etsy store that I ordered these from, they're called Parkey's paper. Now we got a couple of samples on the front right here. Let's tape it on. So the first 5, I believe they are Surge. Yeah, Surge foil holographic. I don't know if you can see the Surge foil. This is kind of interesting with this angle right here. Dang, this looks absolutely fantastic. Just the foil effect, if you can see on camera. Now I believe these are just regular cardstock, and then they did the foil treatment on the surface, right? This is not the core, blue core, black core cardstock, just regular cardstock, which is already pretty stiff. I mean, and then we have this one, which I thought was pretty cool. I want to order and then just test it out, see what they look like. This is like ripple of water effect. So this galaxy foil is from Edge of Eternity. If you've seen some of the foils from that set, this is what it exactly looked like. The basic concept of this method is using this clear vinyl sticker. We print on this and then we apply this onto our foil paper and then cut them out. I've seen great success from our school community. One of our Patreon, he actually did it himself and he actually showed us the result and it looked absolutely fantastic. So I just wanted to try it out myself. Now something we couldn't replicate with the foil photo paper was the partial foil effect, because as soon as you print on the foil photo paper, everything is foil, including the text. But as you know, some of the MTG cards, they have partial foil effect. So this potentially can give us that. Alright, you already know this, but I just want to remind you, the best proxy making website is proxy.com. Finally, this came to my doorstep and I believe this is the correct sticker paper that we are missing. Just letting you know, this happens way more often, buying the wrong thing. That's why I have all the links in the description, just the correct things, alright? So you don't have to go through this again. And this is interesting because this exact brand right here, we have used its double-sided photo paper before. There's no way. This feels like plastic. It's like glossy plastic. I mean, my first instinct when I touch this type of material, I'm like, the ink is not gonna dry and it's not gonna stick to it. But after checking the label, it says for inkjet printer, for dye ink and pigment ink, which is exactly what we use. Wait, I'm confused. Which side? Okay, I'm assuming it's this glossy side. That's great. Is this really for inkjet? Well, there's only one way to find out. So yeah, we're gonna put one sheet inside of our printer. You know, based on my experience, inkjet is not gonna work on this type of material. The ink is not gonna dry. It's gonna look extremely ugly and disgusting. Unless, okay,
here, let's build. 10. Ooh. Oh yeah. Shandy, we got Shandy. Okay. Just two more and she's next. Oh. There we go. Okay. Music's nice too.
占いによれば今日のラッキースポットは確か
Akashi. Got her.
ほうわらわを恐れぬとはそなた
Yeah. That's how outfits are, I guess. Oh yeah. Tamaki. Do we have Luna? How do we get Luna? Yukino, Shandy, Elise. We still need Tsukushi. Oh, we only have 3 days to play. Hard mode, okay.
Okay, so right there you see I've taken like a corner of this thing off of its backing paper. It is clear, that's what we wanted. But there's no way it's for inkjet. I'm so skeptical. I just hope it doesn't mess with my printer. When the ink is not dried on the material, your print head is like going back and forth, kind of, you know, just absorbing all of those ink and then smudging it. I will have to clean the whole print head afterwards. That's crazy. Like that material it feels like the glossy lamination. You know, like when you touch the glossy lamination. It feels like this. The parts that, you know, this transparent part. How is there's no way that ink is going to stick like that. In my head, I'm thinking it's for UV printer, you know? Oh my god, there's no way. It's actually working. Okay, I can see a little bit of the print coming out. I don't know if you can see from that angle, but I think it's working. That's crazy. That is actually insane. Like, I did not expect it to print nicely to the surface. And it looks like it's dry. I mean, it looks glossy, but alright. Man, I'm pleasantly surprised by this. This is actually crazy. Look at this. I mean, it's kind of transparent. You can kind of see my hand, my shadow of my hand behind this print. But everything printed so nicely into this material. Like, it actually is sticking. I did not think it was gonna stick. Apparently, I don't know anything. Right now on the market, I cannot find any inkjet ready foil cardstock that's good for proxy making. So if you are a paper supplier that specializes in cardstock, foil, trimming, let me know. We can work something out for the community. Alright, you can see my desk and then you can see our print over here. Now, upon close inspection, it does look like it's a little wet. I don't know if it's because of the surface of this material or it's just wet ink. I cannot tell. Okay, how about this? Let me just blow on it a little bit before I actually put my hand on it to see if it's actually dry or it's just the material. And as this sheet was getting spit out by the printer, I was already thinking in my head, another issue I might run into is how good the foil effect is gonna shine through this print right here. Because it does look pretty dense. The color, the contrast, and it's a layer of ink on here. So how good is our foil gonna shine through? That we don't know yet. But since this sheet right here is a test sheet, I'm gonna try to touch it and then see if everything is dry. And by touching it, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm not getting any ink on my hand and it's just dry. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. It's a little wet. Well, I don't know if... Yeah, it's a little wet. It is. Still a little wet. So some spot when I touch it, it does not leave any ink. Ooh, but yeah, if I like... Yeah, if I even use this cloth to touch the image, it actually takes the ink off. So that will be This is our search for the cardstock. As I showed in the previous part of the video, it is pretty big, the cardstock. So we are going to have a little bit of waste. But my thinking was that if I can line up one corner, I can potentially do something with the rest of the sheet. But it does provide us a lot of room to work with, a lot of room to make mistakes. So wipe this down gently, real quick, make sure there's no crazy debris on here. Clean the dust off of this as well. Now this is gonna be the technical part of this whole process. Alright, so this next step, I think it's the most technical step out of all the process. It's going to be applying this sheet of sticker paper onto our backing. Now we've done it multiple times with our old method, making the foil version of it, print on a foil sticker, put it on cardstock. I've done multiple of that, so I know some technique that still applies in this situation. For example, I'm gonna open up a corner. Now, because of the nature of these type of clear vinyl sticker paper, once you mess up, it is hard to fix your mistake. That's why I don't recommend you. This is not going to be a sustainable way for you to make a whole deck out of it. So it's just going to be, for example, if you really like some of the Commander cards and you really want the foil version of it, sure, make a couple of foil Commanders with this method. Okay, now I'm actually seeing how this is going to work better, because we're only left with this clear sticker part, and it is looking pretty good, not gonna lie. So what I'm gonna do is, because on this sheet I have these boundaries that's clear, so I'm gonna touch those parts to make sure I'm aligning this sticker onto our cardstock properly, one side at a time, and then be quick with actually sticking it onto the cardstock. And then once I have both sides and the middle adhesive down to the backing, I'm just gonna slowly remove the back, but also applying a little bit of pressure onto the sticky part, so it's applying to the surface as I'm rolling my backing paper off. I'm making sure my boundaries are sticking, aligning straight and nice, and then I'm taking my time with this process. I'm not rushing this, right? Even till the very end, I'm just gonna take my time to make sure everything is sticking properly. And oh my god, this is unreal. This actually looks crazy. I mean, I think this is peak. This is as far probably as you can go printing from home with specific type of foil effect. I think this is peak right here. This absolutely looks insane. It looks like what you can get actually from a pack. Take out our trusty cutter here, rotary trimmer. Haven't used this thing for a little bit, or cardstock for something else, so I'm just gonna trim it over there. And then we're gonna trim this side right here. And then we're gonna use our die cutter to take each one individual card out. Alright, so let me see if I can show you better what I mean by the bubbles. Right there you can see there's a couple of bubbles right here. It's like when you put it's like when you are applying a screen protector on your phone. Like you can squeeze those bubbles out because it's just glass, right? But this is on that thing. Like there's no way for you to squeeze it. Part of me want to say you can just take a needle and then just poke these bubbles, but obviously you're damaging your image. There it is, the die cutter. Now we will have to be extremely careful with this process right here because I'm sending this strip into my die cutter, and if I scratch the front, it's gonna look pretty ugly, the proxy obviously. So when I send it back down, I'm gonna be kind of assisting it with my left hand just to make sure I'm not scratching the surface, the front, with all the metal part with the machine. So it is a little tricky on how I need to do this. You cannot be a perfectionist because you're not gonna get a perfect card each time. You're just gonna have to deal with the imperfection. This is kind of crazy, blowing my mind how good these look. On camera I don't know how much you can see, but in person I can see all the surge foil. And this cloud is probably the best one out of all of these because some of them really have bubbles. I'm gonna try to eliminate these bubbles with the method I talked about, using like a needle, and then let's see the result of that. But I just want to show you guys a little bit. On camera you can't really see the surge foil effect. You can kind of see, yeah, that you can see the surge foil better without the filter that I have on my camera. It has lighter color, but you can probably see surge foil better with this card right here. But look at this. Yeah, on camera it's not showing as much as I want it to show on camera, but in person these are absolutely insane. Right here you see in my hand is a needle. What we're gonna try to do is to poke some of these air bubble in the hopes of making our sticker paper stick better. And there's different sizes of bubbles, as I can see on, for example, this specific proxy right here. By poking a little hole into the bubble, you're letting the air out, so in the hopes of, you know, flattening the bubble. Yeah, so for example right here, I burst that bubble right there, and then when I press it down, what it's essentially doing is it's sticking to the backing and then getting lifted up, because there's still some air getting trapped in there. So that's why it's creating like this glue residue, because of the surface on the cardstock is so shiny. You can definitely see that. So I would say if you get bubbles, just don't even bother. Like, I mean, some angles, yeah, you can see it. Some angles you really cannot see it. You really just have to refine the process when you are applying the sticker paper onto your cardstock. The thickness and the rigidity just feels like a regular MTG card. Yeah, it's probably right there compared to an MTG card. You can actually sleeve this and then put it in your deck and then just play with this. And another way of doing this is, if you know you want one of these to be a commander, for example. You guys seen me use this before a lot with the cloud. I can just put it in here and then close the casket right here, and that looks pretty sick to me. I mean, that's a Surge Foil Cloud proxy right there.
Boys! 6 months ago, I bought every single Pokemon pack ever made, and I opened it on this stream after spending $30,000 on those cards. And, frankly, we know that I lost a lot of money, but the answer we don't know is just how much money I lost, so today, we're gonna find out. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Okay, that might have devalued them a little bit. Anyway, I got the cards back from PSA. I got them back, everybody. Yay, they're here now. When we were doing the stream live, we had a general price of what the cards could be worth, but they weren't based off the grading. And obviously we know that a PSA 10 is worth infinitely more than any other grade. So in part, we're trying to find out how much money I lost, but also how many PSA 10s we got, which hopefully is more than one. Now, not every single card, I think, was graded. Really, we only graded the valuables, the holos, the reverse foils, the very OG packs, not the commons, because we had thousands of them. Bear in mind that whatever the total value is of these cards is not indicative of every single card's value. Does that make sense? Like, you could probably bulk sell the commons for some extra money. So it's probably gonna be a little higher than what we have today. Anyway, let's jump into it. Starting with our first card. Let me see if I can... Okay, so I didn't realize the PSA 10 was on this side, and I was using my finger to block the wrong thing. So I'll work on that. That's a me thing I gotta work on. So this is our first card. It was the 2005 Pokemon EX Deoxys reverse foil.
Very cool.
And it was... Chat, guess what it was? Chat,
10.
guess what it was? It's a PSA 9. Not bad! Not a bad start. So what's the value of that one? Dude, this would have been so valuable if it was a PSA 10. God, the difference between PSA 9 and 10 is phenomenal.
Let's see how many
PSA
coins I get.
9,
I'm at
$176. PSA 10, 10 times more valuable. Last sold was $293, and it sold 3 days ago. Our next card, is it the wrong side again? Is the 2003 Pokemon Skyridge Alakazam Holo. And we got a PSA 9. Okay. $880. PSA 10 to be $2,000. Okay, not bad. Not so far, not bad. Charmander EX 2007 reverse foil.
It's not EX.
Power Keepers. PSA 9. We love the 9. This card was worth $22. Oh, no, fuck. Hold up. That was not reverse foil. Hold up. It was actually $70. Keep it rolling. Next card.
Give me some money. Friends at home.
If you were like me, broke as a joke, but still want to play Magic, I went to your school library or FedEx, printed cards on the A4 printer paper, put it in front of a rat token. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make these high-quality, non-foil proxy at the comfort of your home and without breaking a bank. Hi, my name is Cry. I teach people how to play like a... In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know on how to make these high-quality proxies at home. From finding high-quality images to printing, laminating, and cutting. The best part is it only costs a fraction of what you normally pay for an overpriced cardboard. My name is Crackcry. This video is sponsored by the Cardboard Secret Layer. This is my second time recording this portion of the video, and I'm going to show you how powerful the tool proxy.com really is, and it's the only website you would need to produce professional looking proxies. Now, as I'm making this video, I'm looking at all the new features this website has. Proxy.com is the only website you would need. You really actually don't even need to go to NPC. You can actually import your deck list and just select everything from here.
No, I want to learn how to make shinies. I want the shinies. Crash course.
The first chase cards in the English Pokemon TCG were the basic Hollows. Released in 1999, these cards became instant hits, with Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur standing out immediately as the most desirable pulls. The trio represented the final evolutions of the Kanto starters from Pokemon Red and Blue, giving everyone that played the game a physical representation of the Pokemon they likely spent months training. For collectors, the base set had 3 distinct print runs: First Edition, Shadowless, and Unlimited. First Edition cards were part of the very first print run, identifiable by a small First Edition stamp on the left side of the artwork. These cards are among the rarest and most valuable cards in the game today. Next came the Shadowless print, which lacked the First Edition stamp but shared another key characteristic. They don't have the drop shadow effect around the artwork's border, giving them a cleaner, flatter look. Shadowless cards are rarer than Unlimited, but more accessible than First Edition. And finally, there's the Unlimited print run. This is the most common version, with the added shadow effect around the artwork that became standard in future sets. For collectors on a budget, Unlimited base set Hollows offer a more affordable entry point. Pull rates at the time were around 1 Hollow Rare per 3 packs, or about 12 Hollows per box. Rarity symbols were introduced to help identify card scarcity: a circle for commons, a diamond for uncommons, and a star for rares. Hollow Rares share the same star symbol as non-Hollow Rares, making the foil background the only indicator of their higher rarity. Just the beginning of Pokemon's not always straightforward rarity system. Released later in 1999, Jungle and Fossil followed closely after the base set, also featuring traditional Hollows as their primary chases, with similar pull rates of about 1 to 3 packs. Unlike the base set, Jungle and Fossil never had a Shadowless print run, but did include First Edition and Unlimited versions. In Jungle, the top chase was Snorlax, a fan-favorite Pokemon that became iconic due to its absolutely massive HP at the time. Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon, the original evolutions, also stood out as being highly sought after. In Fossil, the clear standout chase was Dragonite, with other notable Hollows including Gengar, the game's first Ghost-type Pokemon, and Lapras, a popular Pokemon in the video game. The latter 3 sets in the original series were Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, and Gym Challenge. Team Rocket introduced players and collectors to Dark Pokemon, including the fan favorites Charizard, Blastoise, and Dragonite. This set was also particularly notable for the inclusion of the game's very first secret rare in Dark Raichu. This card was numbered 83 out of 82, a convention that we still have in the game today. Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge took things in a different direction, spotlighting iconic gym leaders alongside their Pokemon. Blaine's Charizard led the charge, becoming an instant fan favorite. Sabrina's Gengar brought a haunting presence, perfectly matching its service trainer, and Rocket Zapdos added a darker twist to the legendary bird. Then in 2000, the Neo era introduced new mechanics and a fresh lineup of Pokemon from the Johto region. Spanning 4 sets, Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery, Neo Revelation, and Neo Destiny, this era ran until 2002 and brought collectors some of the most iconic cards in the game's history. Most notably was the introduction of Shining Pokemon, which became the ultimate chase card of the Neo era. With a pull rate of approximately 1 per 12 to 18 packs, these rare cards featured familiar Pokemon depicted with alternate color palettes. In Neo Revelation, the first 2 Shining Pokemon were Shining Magikarp and Shining Gyarados. These cards hold a special place in collecting history, not only for their rarity, but for their connection to the iconic red Gyarados encounter in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Neo Destiny then took things further, introducing a lineup of 8 Shining Pokemon. The top chases include Shining Charizard, Shining Raichu, and Shining Mewtwo, with Shining Charizard standing out as one of the rarest and most valuable cards of the era. No surprises there. Unlike later sets, these early Shining Pokemon had only the Pokemon itself in foil. Outside of Shining Pokemon, each Neo set had its share of Chase Hollows. Neo Genesis featured Lugia and Typhlosion, both of which became collector favorites. Neo Discovery highlighted Espeon and Umbreon, marking their first appearances in the TCG. Neo Revelation had the legendary beasts Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. And Neo Destiny included the concept of Light and Dark Pokemon, with Dark Tyranitar and Light Dragonite being favorites among collectors. Then technically sandwiched in between this era and the next was the release of Legendary Collection. In homage to the original base set, Legendary Collection made history by debuting the game's first ever Reverse Hollows, featuring an absolutely stunning firework pattern. While no future Reverse Hollows would ever top this treatment would become a mainstay in the TCG to this day. Then we have the e-reader era of the Pokemon TCG, which was short-lived but left behind some of the game's most iconic cards. Released between 2002 and 2003 and spanning just 3 sets, Expedition, Aquapolis, and Skyridge, this was the last era produced by Wizards of the Coast before the Pokemon Company International took over. What set these cards apart was the integration of e-reader technology. Certain cards had scannable dot codes along the borders, allowing players to access minigames, Pokedex entries, and other digital content through the Nintendo e-reader. The Crystal Pokemon, introduced in Aquapolis and Skyridge, were the rarest pulls of the era. These cards introduced a Crystal-type mechanic, featuring Pokemon that could use multiple energy types for their attacks. Standout cards from this group include Crystal Charizard, Crystal Lugia, and Crystal Ho-Oh, all of which are very recognizable due to their artwork and unique frame. Pull rates for Crystal Pokemon were about 1 in every 12 packs, making them relatively rare at the time. In addition to Crystal Pokemon, Expedition base set featured holo versions of classic Pokemon like Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, each with new artwork. Now onto the EX era, which spanned from 2003 to 2007. This is when we were first introduced to Pokemon EX. Notable for higher HP and stronger attacks, these Pokemon were balanced by the risk of giving up 2 prize cards instead of 1 when they were knocked out. The first Pokemon EX appeared in EX Ruby and Sapphire. Notice the holofoil treatment extending across the entire card, making Pokemon EX visually distinct from cards that came before them. Notable early EX cards include Mewtwo EX, Kyogre EX, and Groudon EX. As the era progressed, Gold Star Pokemon emerged as the era's ultimate chase. Introduced in EX Team Rocket Returns and continuing across several sets, these cards were recognizable by the small gold star next to the Pokemon's name and featured artwork of shiny Pokemon. Gold Stars had notoriously low pull rates, averaging around 1 per 2 to 3 booster boxes, making them some of the rarest cards of the time. Chase Gold Stars include Rayquaza Gold Star from EX Deoxys, Charizard Gold Star from EX Dragon Frontiers, and the legendary Beast Gold Stars from EX Unseen Forces. Gold Stars today are some of the most sought after Pokemon cards in the entire game. After that, we have the Diamond and Pearl and Platinum eras, which ran from 2007 to 2010. These eras were the first to align themselves with the release of the Pokemon video games, a trend that continues to this day. And alongside the new name came a new gameplay mechanic. Level X cards functioned similarly to their evolutions, but could only be played on top of their respective Pokemon of the same name once they had reached their highest stage. From a collector's perspective, these cards became the main chase cards of the era, with pull rates of around 1 in every 12 packs, making them rare but still attainable compared to Gold Stars. Some of the most sought after Level X cards include Lucario Level X from Mysterious Treasures, Garchomp Level X from Majestic Dawn, and Dialga Level X from the Platinum set.
Dialga
Sets
Level
like
X,
Platinum
yeah.
Arceus then featured secret rare shiny variants of popular Pokemon, with pull rates of around 1 in every 30 packs. This set in particular also stood out for its many forms of Arceus Level X and Level 100, cementing the Pokemon God as a central figure in Pokemon lore and collecting. Then we have the short-lived Heart Gold and Soul Silver era, spanning from 2010 to 2011. Much like the video games they were named after, these sets revisited the Johto region. One of the standout features of this era was the introduction of Prime Pokemon. These cards showcased Pokemon with enhanced abilities and higher stats, standing out with bold artwork that zoomed in on the Pokemon's face and featured a unique silver border. Prime cards had a pull rate of about 1 in every 6 packs, making them relatively accessible but still highly collectible, especially for popular Pokemon like Typhlosion, Feraligatr, and Gengar. Another defining chase of the Heart Gold and Soul Silver era were the Legends, unique 2-piece cards that had to be combined to form a full image of a legendary Pokemon. Pull rates for Legend cards were about 1 in every 12 packs, making complete sets fairly difficult to get a hold of. Key Legend cards from this time include Lugia and Ho-Oh from the Heart Gold and Soul Silver base set, and Rayquaza and Deoxys from Undaunted. Now onto the Black and White era, which ran from 2011 to 2013 and introduced collectors to a new generation of Pokemon from the Unova region. Mechanically, the biggest innovations of this era were the introduction of Pokemon EX, capital EX this time. Pokemon EX were powerful basic Pokemon with high HP and hard-hitting attacks, and similarly offered 2 prize cards instead of 1. But for collectors, the Black and White era marked one of the most important turning points in the game's history, the introduction of full arts. For the first time ever, artwork extended from border to border, paired with intricate textured foil patterns that made these cards look absolutely incredible. The Black and White base set kicked things off with iconic cards like Reshiram and Zekrom, each available in both regular and full art versions, the latter of which appeared about once in every 18 packs. Then as the era progressed, sets like Next Destinies and Dark Explorers expanded the lineup with fan favorites like Mewtwo EX and Darkrai EX. And once again, we see the return of secret rare shiny Pokemon. Unsurprisingly, some of the most popular of which are shiny Charizard and shiny Blastoise from Plasma Storm, and shiny Rayquaza from Dragons Exalted. Pull rates for these shinies were tough, coming in at around 1 in every 72 packs, making them very hard to come by. Each of the Plasma sets, including Plasma Storm, Plasma Freeze, and Plasma Blast, introduced another unique mechanic and card treatment, complete with blue borders and Team Plasma branding. Then the XY era, which spanned from 2014 to 2017, introduced players and collectors to the Kalos region. But what really made this generation stand out was the debut of Mega Pokemon. These were evolutions of Pokemon EX and super powerful in-game, but playing one ended your turn immediately, meaning you had to wait another full turn until they could attack. From a collector's standpoint, the real appeal comes from their beautiful, dynamic artwork with Japanese text slashing across the card. An interesting side note here that the Japanese version of these cards had English text instead. Notable pulls from this era include Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y from